All right, good afternoon. How's everybody tonight?
Doing good.
Welcome you to the Monday, September 8th, Davis County Commissioners meeting. Commissioner Kester, turn to lead the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance, sir.
Yes, sir. Let's bow our heads. Lord, you tell us in James chapter 1, verse 8, that a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So, Lord, I just ask you to help be with each commissioner here tonight. Help us to be of single purpose to do what's fair and equitable for the citizens of Davidson County. And we ask you this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Let's stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Kester.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Elliott is at a conference out of town.
Okay, can I have a motion to excuse Commissioner Elliott? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, Commissioner McClure, if you'd recognize the veterans, please.
I'd like to recognize any of the veterans that are here today. Would you stand? Now, for those of you that have said, let's give them a hand. For those of you that haven't received a pin that's got Davidson County Veteran on there, come by and get it. Appreciate your service, sir.
Thank you all.
Thank you for your service, yep.
Appreciate your service, man.
No.
Appreciate your service. Appreciate your service.
Service, thank you.
Y'all.
Yep. It's always nice to see veterans in the audience. All right, adoption of the agenda. Anybody wishing to speak for public address, the sign-up sheet right over here. If you haven't done so, please do so. We'll be moving to the public address here shortly. Adoption of the agenda. Mr. Smith has asked for a closed session for attorney-client and real property be added. Due to the expected length of the public hearings, I am asking they be moved to follow the consent or any other changes to the agenda.
No, sir.
Hearing none, can I get a motion and a second?
Motion approved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. All right. All right. John Lassiter? Isidore.
Board, my name's John Isidore. I'm Sergeant First Class, U.S. Army retired. I've been in the community for about 17 years. I retired from the Army in 2007, went to work for Norfolk Southern Railroad, and it led me to this great place. In my tours of the Army, I served doing security and stability operations in 3 different countries on 2 different continents. Our priorities were establishing security, establishing good transportation, roads, and also good water, clean water, and schools. Those were the main projects that we did. What this has to do with what's going on here today is our sports complex. Our community is growing rapidly. We are putting houses in left over right, hand over fist. If we don't start improving our infrastructure in ways that directly benefit our citizens over an entertainment venue, I think we're going to be woefully regretful. That's pretty much all I have to say about that. I hope it catches a friendly ear.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bricka Sweet?
Thank you. I'm Bricka Sweet, and I live on Irvin Drive, which adjoins the proposed Sportsplex. On July 24th, at an 8 a.m. commissioner meeting, I spoke with you about the need to scale back the proposed Sportsplex project in ways that would better fit our small Southmont community, make the county commissioners better neighbors in this project, and be in far better keeping with the so-called community center concept that's now proposed. I gave you several specific recommendations to meet these goals, and I wanted to help you consider protecting the neighborhood and lake environment. I even provided these recommendations in writing to you, yet I've heard nothing at all in response to my concerns. As a patriotic and long-serving Army veteran and a responsible and law-abiding taxpayer, I'm deeply saddened that you have ignored my concerns about my home, my neighborhood, and my community, all of which impact the largest investment of my lifetime, our Southmont home and property. In August, Paula Noonan stood before you and asked you if our community could meet with the architects and engineers of the Sportsplex project. You said no. She then asked if the decision on final plans and approval to move forward with this project would be brought before the whole commission, as you promised in June, but you did not answer. At the last county commissioner meeting, Pat Williams asked if the Sportsplex project would be brought before all the commissioners for a final vote, or left to the facility committee, and you did not respond. The facilities committee does not allow for public input or questions, which makes it appear that you have decided to ignore the citizens of Davidson County, and especially the Southmont community, and move ahead with the sports complex project without scaling it back in any way. So now, I am asking you, will there be any additional opportunity for the public to provide input other than coming to these commissioner meetings and being ignored? Will the commissioners who oppose this project have an opportunity to vote and show their opposition before the final plans are approved? And no response?
We don't answer questions during this, ma'am.
And when do you answer questions?
When you're on the agenda, your 3 minutes is going, so please say what you gotta say and we'll move on, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You can email the commissioners. I'm unaware you wanted us to speak, so. If you get us on an email, we can talk to you.
Mr. Chairman, real
Yes, sir.
quick in response to her, ma'am, just for, most public don't know this, and I'm sorry that they don't, but the facilities committee makes no decisions, none. What they do is they discuss issues, and then it is moved to the full board for open discussion at an open meeting. So it's not that the facilities committee is pushing anything through, because they don't have the
So the
power.
final plan will be brought before?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you
ma'am.
very much.
Thank you.
All right, David Garvin. Good evening.
My name's Dave Garvin. I've lived in Davidson County for about 5 years now. And I've been doing some amount of research on this Sportsplex. And I found that in 2015, there was a marketing study done to gauge the support to take on debt to build a sports complex. Public opinion was not supportive of it, and therefore the commission decided not to continue. And mainly because any attempt to issue debt would most likely be defeated. So instead it was sold, the property was sold to developers. Some of the reasons for the rejection were a lack of community support, funding issues, and problems with the site selection and competing priorities. So we fast forward 11 years later and we ask, what has changed? Well, the only difference now is that the money to pay for this thing is already here, as opposed, and it got here by clawing back money from other infrastructure projects and laundered COVID-19 relief funds. so the commission could claim they have the money on hand and no longer legally obligated to consider public opinion. This commission has decided not to engage with the community, probably because they wouldn't get the response they desire. Now, this was moved to the Facilities Committee, where, as you just mentioned, it is not going to be voted on at the Facilities Committee. It will come back to the board, which makes some of my text here need to be edited. But we look at this with, there is an item on the agenda tonight, at the very end of the agenda, which is seeking a vote on reimbursement for funds that are used for the jail refurbishment. And I have no problem with that item, and I think it's a great idea because it's something that just makes sense. But on the document that was on the web, it ended with prior to issuing debt. So if you're going to issue debt, that means that you're going to be using funds that you don't have to build, to make these changes while you still have $65 million in funds that you're using to build a sports complex with. So that would seem like you're forcing the taxpayers to consider debt unnecessary items while you're ignoring any concerns about building facility the way it is. So there are three things, or actually four items here, one of which you've already covered. So this is a formal request to hold a town hall question and answer session or do another marketing survey to find out whether you have the support of this item throughout the county. Second item has already been covered. To bring the final vote back here. Number 3 is considered a scaled back version. And number 4, we don't need a commercial water park in Southmont. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, Mike, Petway, this is a rezoning, so we'll have a public hearing for the rezoning, okay? You'll be able to come up whichever one, rezoning you're talking about. Dr. Hardy, Nakia Hardy, how are you this afternoon? Always good to see a yellow jacket here.
That's right. It's great. It's always a great day to be a Yellow Jacket. Good evening, Chair Yates and other commissioners. I have with me several of our central service team as well as our board chair, Brent Wall. First, I would like to thank you for your leadership and your service to the families and the community of Davidson County. I, along with others, recognize the weight of your responsibilities, and we are grateful for the thoughtful time you've already given to understanding our schools and our babies. I'm here this evening to share with you that it's my intention to share the great things of Lexington City on a regular basis with you and our community. I acknowledge that in the past there's been more visibility during budget times with an ask. I'm planning to change that. The theme throughout the year will be, Did You Know? I have great respect for all of our elected officials and went to the Lexington City Council meeting last month. I plan to visit both public meetings regularly. So here we go. Did you know that this year Lexington City Schools achieved record academic growth? Did you know that Lexington Senior High School's graduation rate climbed to 87.6%, the best in more than a decade? Did you know that Lexington Senior High School posted its strongest proficiency gains in over 10 years, and Lexington Middle School exceeded growth in both reading and math for the first time in more than a decade? And did you know that our students at the high school earned almost 1,200 industry-recognized credentials, an over 300% increase, preparing them for healthcare, technology, and skills trades that we know our citizens in Davidson County are looking for? These are not just numbers. They are proof that our students are rising, our staff is delivering, and our community, with your continued support, is stronger when we work together. We recognize that the timing is not ideal, but I would be remiss if I did not mention that we are asking for support with the needs-based grant. We know that that investment will not only help Davidson County, but also Lexington City Schools. For us, it's not just about facilities. It's about fiscal stewardship, safety, workforce development, and ensuring that Davidson County remains competitive for all families and all businesses in every community. Commissioners, your leadership at our middle school renovation has been such an investment, and I want to thank you for that. Tonight, you have an opportunity to continue that legacy as we think about the request for your support. Please know that we appreciate you, we thank you for your service, we thank you for your partnership, and continue to request support in that grant. And again, it's always a great day to be a Yellow Jacket.
Thank you. Glad to have you here. Joe Stone.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm Joe Stone, Principal of Lexington Middle School, and I want to thank you for your leadership and your continued commitment to the children of Davidson County. I want to begin with gratitude. Your investment in Lexington Middle School, as our superintendent just mentioned, makes an incredible difference. Our renovation is complete, and this fall we will proudly host an open house where we will welcome our family and community to take part and see the improvements that have been made. In line with Dr. Hardy, did you know that even while under construction, our students exceeded growth in both reading and math for the first time in more than a decade? That milestone proves two things: the resilience of our students and staff and the impact of your leadership. When facilities are strengthened, students rise. Commissioners, your decision to invest in Lexington Middle School is already paying dividends. It is proof that when we work together, our students win. On behalf of our students, staff, and families, thank you for believing in them and helping them create conditions where they can thrive. Thank you, and we look forward to your continued support.
Thank you, Mr. Stone. Thank you. Good job on those numbers, too, getting those proficiency rates up.
Thank you.
Jeremy Porter. How are you this afternoon?
I'm doing well.
Good.
Thank you. My name is Dr. Jermaine Porter, proud principal of Lexington Senior High School. This evening, Commissioners, at Lexington Senior High School, our motto is to win the day. Our students this year did exactly that. Did you know the students achieved the strongest proficiency gains in more than a decade? Did you know our graduation rate climbed 87.6%, the best in over 10 years? Our students at Lexington Senior High Schools are breaking records, but our buildings are breaking down. Decades of deferred maintenance have left us at the tipping point. Their achievement and our facilities no longer match. That's why the local match matters. With a $36 million county commitment, Davidson County can unlock $62 million in state funds, nearly $100 million total. Every local dollar multiplies into almost 3. If we don't act, those funds will go to another county. This is more than about facilities. It's about safety. It's about fiscal responsibility and preparing a workforce that will keep Davidson County strong. Commissioners, you have an awesome opportunity to leave a legacy. Facilities that match the record-breaking achievements of our students that will serve this community for the next 50 years. On behalf of Lexington Senior High Schools, thank you for your service and your thoughtful consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Marty Smith. There you go.
I apologize. I thought I was going to get a few answers here. I didn't realize this was a no-answer session, but I've lived here since 1988. Moved to this county because reasonable taxes, a nice place to live. Love raising my kids here. I've got a ton of questions about this sports complex thing. Environmental. I can answer that. All the trash is going straight to the lake. That's where it's all going, is the place is so close. You don't even have to do a study, and I understand there hasn't been one done. Costs. $65 million, any contractor will give you that, they're gonna raise it. My concern is $65 million could be going to these schools. There's highway projects, there's tons of stuff we could be doing. I realize that some of those are not what you guys deal with, but there's a lot of things could be done with this $65 million as opposed to building a sports complex that in 5 years from now will probably be abandoned and in disrepair. Traffic. You're gonna get traffic off the interstate and run 15 minutes down a 2-lane road. When I moved here, you could drive from the interstate all the way to my place. Hardly tap your brakes because there wasn't a lot of traffic out there. Now you're lucky to be able to do 35 and 55 down through there because there's so much traffic. And there's houses going up everywhere. It's only gonna get worse. Accommodations. There's nothing down there to accommodate these people in food or places to stay or anything if they come for sports. When they come, they're gonna come one time and they're gonna go, I can go to Greensboro. There's all kinds of stuff in Greensboro around their sports complex. Why would it be so far off the interstate? Why would you if you're gonna do it, why not put it someplace closer to the interstate where people can get off the interstate and go? You're gonna draw people from Charlotte, Greensboro, Winston, all over, even Raleigh. But down in Southmont, I mean, that's, all we need is some more traffic down there. I mean, it's a nice, quiet place. And my last thing is taxes. You're gonna raise my taxes to build a sports complex? No one that I know in Southmont wants a sports complex down there. I mean, no one does. I haven't talked to one person who has even who even wants to make an argument for it. Everybody's like, what are they doing? Why are they doing it? I'm just not quite sure why we're doing what we're doing. It seems a lot of wasted money for no reason. And like I say, in 5 years when it's abandoned, what's gonna happen? It's just gonna sit there and all the water's gonna run off into the lake with all the trash and oil and... Anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right,
Mr. Chairman?
yes, sir.
Just real quick, because I promised somebody I would do this, Lexington Senior High School, a gentleman stopped me in the street, one of my neighbors, and attended your event the other day, and they were so excited and so pleased about what they saw. And I told him I would share it. I'm not gonna call his name because they didn't ask him if I could, but he was so excited about what he saw at your event, and I told him I would share that with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on to the consent agenda. Anybody wishing to pull anything from the consent agenda? If not, can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. We'll move on to 7A, public hearing, Project Yacht.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I'll be very brief just to kind of tee this up. Project Yacht is a non-woven textile manufacturer that is looking at doing a business expansion into Davidson County. They're not currently located here. The company is looking to invest $30.8 million in capital investment and create 80 jobs with an average wage of $54,000 a year. They're looking at the site at 647 Hargrave Drive. 647 Hargrave Drive in Lexington. And just to kind of explain a little bit, the incentive on this is currently we're looking at a 3-year incentive at 0.0027 times the capital investment, and incentivizing just the first 3 years of their capital investment. So that would be $25.8 million that the incentive would apply to. So there would be a not to exceed amount, and in the draft agreement, you see that at the table of $150,102 over the course of 3 years. And with that, I'll be glad to take any questions.
That's performance-based.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. All right, I'm gonna declare the public hearing open. See anyone in the audience wishing to speak in favor or in opposition of this project? All right, seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Any other discussion by the board? May I have a motion and a second?
Motion to approve, Mr. Chair.
And Commissioner Shell, would that be upon approval of the form of the contract by the county attorney's
Yes,
office?
because it's still in a draft format.
Yep. All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries. We'll move on to public hearing 5310, 5311, and I'll let you follow it up, Mr. Jones. I guess this is yours, the public hearing. Transportation grant, okay, it's got the wrong.
I'm sorry, I should have said R. Jones, I'm sorry.
All right.
You can do it.
When we've got
Yeah,
more than
Adam was
one
looking
word.
at me like I don't know, and then I
Poor Adam thought I was throwing him under the bus.
seen this was transportation,
learn about
so I
transportation
shoulda knew
real
what you were
quick.
standing there for.
Good evening,
Transportation
Commissioners.
grant.
Appreciate the opportunity to come before you this evening. This is our annual, public hearing for our federal grant applications that we submit through NCDOT Integrated Mobility Division. Also included in the hearing though are for 5307 grants, that we will submit as needed directly to the FTA, now that we're a direct recipient. So primarily in your packet tonight, excuse me, are applications for our 5311, which is our administrative grant that we use to pay for the salaries of our administrative staff. You have the 5310 Capital Purchase of Service Grant, which is what Senior Services uses to pay for transportation that they provide for the older residents of the county. And we also have a combined capital grant for bus replacement, also in the packet. This year, like we normally do, as we replace our buses. The applications are due at the beginning of October, so we present those to you tonight for approval to submit those applications before the due date. And I answer any questions you have.
Any questions?
Is one of those grants, I think it used to be, or maybe I'm thinking about something else, deal with the workshop? Any money?
Well, the workshop, they have their own, they submit their own application.
Okay.
So they do their own public hearing, and then we provide the oversight of the contractors. We partner with, Workshop at Davidson County Life Center and Senior Services. So we provide the oversight of the contractors
Okay.
for the Transportation Department, but they do their own grant.
Okay.
So does the Life Center.
Yeah, so does Life Center, 5310.
Okay. I was thinking that, but I wasn't sure.
All right. If you'd like to have a seat on the front row, we'll open the, public hearing. So I declare the public hearing open. Anybody wishing to speak in favor or in opposition of these, grants? All right, seeing none, hearing none, I declare the public hearing closed. Any other discussion by the board? Seeing none, may I have a motion and a second? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries, yep.
Jump in there.
Probably getting Jason out of that seat, ain't it, sometimes?
Yeah.
I mean, he don't like to move.
Maybe some musical chairs we can.
All right, we'll move on to item number C, rezoning request by Roger Dale Beasley in Cotton Grove Township containing 1.09 plus minus acres from CURC to CZRC. Mr. Crook, hang on one second, Mr. Beasley. We'll let Mr. Crook start this off and then, we'll get to you. Mr. Crook, will you introduce this application, please?
Be glad to, Mr. Chairman, thank you. We have a request tonight, our first rezoning by Roger Beasley to rezone property located in Cotton Grove Township, excuse me, tax map 24A, Block B, Lot 36A, containing 1.09 acres more or less. Said property is located on the southwest side of Valiant Drive, approximately 0.23 miles south of the Rock Crusher Road intersection. Rezoning is requested to change from that of CURC, Conditional Use Rural Commercial District, to that of CZRC, Conditional Zoning Rural Commercial District. If you'd please divert your attention to the overhead. During the planning board meeting the other day, I told one of my new employees to reference eating establishments because everybody knows where eating establishments are. This is the old Cook's Restaurant, the Cook's Barbecue. down at the end of Valiant Drive. And basically, this property was grandfathered in. They wanted to do some additions to it, so they rezoned it to conditional use, rural commercial back in 2006. Unfortunately, the restaurant closed up in 2022. Mr. Beasley now wants to operate a landscaping business off of this property. And at that point, I'll turn the floor back over to you, Mr. Chairman, to open the public hearing so Mr. Beasley can fully explain the request. I would like to go ahead for the record and talk about the conditions so the board can be thinking about that while Mr. Beasley's talking. Hours of operation, 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Trucks will be entering and returning between 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Employees will be entering and leaving between 8 and 5:30 p.m. He'll be installing a fence 6 foot high on all sides, the side and the rear of the property, and no more than 5 foot on the front. There'll be a fence 5 foot tall on the front. He says he will install proper lighting on the property. He will be doing some improvements. He wants to live in the front portion of the old restaurant portion of the building as kind of a caretaker of the business. Our zoning ordinance does allow that. And the back portion where the kitchen used to be is what he wants to utilize for storage and the business aspect of what he's proposing. And at this point, I'll be glad to yield the floor to you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. I declare the public hearing open. Mr. Beasley, if you would, come on up and tell us a little bit about your plan.
He about got everything about right.
Flag it, don't it?
So, I'm Roger Beasley. I have Beasley's Home Improvement, and we do landscaping too and stuff and all. And what I have is different buildings, and I'm wanting to get everything all at one place, I am. And then down here, we've already, since I've bought it, 2 times tried to get broke into already. That's why I'm wanting to put a fence up, around and everything and stuff. And then thought, well, I'm up here in a rent house where I'm living at, so I can take a dining room and make me a house there and be living there in case of anything, there somebody trying to break in. I've done got lights up all the way around the building and stuff like that. And I've done cleared out a bunch of stuff around there too and all. And I'm just needing to do that for I can make me a house in there since, well, I'm by myself now since my wife passed away. It's just me, and all. And that's basically why. And I know he talked about the fences. The fence, he was talking about like in front of 5 foot fence. That's where the parking lot is. I'm really wanting to leave that open because the school buses come down there and they use the parking lot to turn around in and stuff, to get out because it's a dead end road. It runs right into the woods. And I've talked to a couple of bus drivers. I told them, I said, that's fine. Y'all can use that, because if not, they're going to have to use people's driveways to try to turn around in. So.
Sounds good to me. Any questions for Mr. Beasley? No? All right, if you don't mind, have a seat on the front row, and we'll see if anybody wants to speak in favor or in opposition. Anybody wishing to speak in favor or in opposition to Mr. Beasley's application, please come forward. All right, seeing none, I'm going to close the public hearing. Mr. Crook, what's staff recommendation?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This property is not ideally located for commercial use, but it's legal non-conforming use. It was there prior to zoning. The district's actually already there. So the question before the board tonight is whether the proposed use is as intense or less intense or maybe more intense than what's currently allowed. Currently, the hours of operation for a restaurant, 6 a.m. till 10 p.m. Security lighting, the structure will be of similar appearance. They have permission for retail sales of general store items, that type of thing. So they have some retail sale language, and again, it's a restaurant. It's staff's contention that this use would probably be less obtrusive. We did have some concerns about the amount of or the size of the traffic going in and out, whether they would be road tractor trailers or anything like that. Mr. Beasley answered that question at the planning board meeting by saying the biggest thing that comes down there is what empties the dumpster out currently. So that alleviated that. We did have some concern about the lighting, but that's already up. So we feel like this is a good use for the property, get somebody in it. And, you know, there was a lot of regret that it wouldn't be a barbecue restaurant, but, we would cite Davidson County Land Development Plan Policies 11, 12, 15, 17, 18, 56, 57, and 74 in support of the request.
All right, so y'all heard staff recommendation. Any other discussion by the board? Can I have a motion?
I have a motion, Mr. Chairman. The fact that he's gonna be living there is gonna make that a safer area down here. I like that. I make a motion that we approve the rezoning request and adopt the resolution of statement of consistency.
I have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries, Mr. Beasley, and good luck, okay? Best. All right, rezoning request by PBD Winston-Salem LLC in Arcadia Township containing 1.85 acres from RA three.
Mr. Commissioner, Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry, you skipped 7D.
I'm sorry?
Jared Albright?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yep, I did flip
Thank you.
2 pages over. Rezoning request by Jarrett Albright in Midway Township containing 9.72 acres from RA three to CZRC. Mr. Crook, will you?
Thanks, sir.
Tell us a little bit more about this.
Yes, sir. We have a request by Jared Albright to rezone property located in Midway Township, tax map 1, lot 56A, containing 9.72 acres more or less. Said property is located on the east side of Old Lexington Road, approximately 0.56 miles north of the Jones Road intersection. Rezoning is requested to change from that of RA3, Rural Agricultural District, to that of CZRC, Conditional Zoning Rural Commercial District. Again, if you'd please divert your attention to the overhead. The property surrounded in yellow is the property in question. This is Old Lexington Road. Just to the south down here is Gumtree Road, and Old Lexington Road curves up and heads into Forsyth County to the north of here. This is, I don't know the name of this, but this is Andy Willard's old salvage yard. And if you'll recall, we redid a tree service. We rearranged some zoning district here that is LI. Both of these properties are LI, Limited Industrial District. Mr. Albright proposes to rezone this property to operate a business. I think it's a landscaping business that's currently operating a little bit further south of here. I'll let him tell you the details about his business, and I would yield the floor back to Mr. Chairman to open the public hearing.
I'm going to declare the public hearing open, and Mr. Albright, if you'll come forward. How are you this afternoon?
Doing good, Commissioners, thank you.
Yep. Tell us a little bit about what you plan to do here.
Yes, sir. Well, I've got plenty of room to turn buses around right there, so. But no, so we've been looking for about 3.5 years. We've been operating, actually, my father started the business in 1988, and, I helped take over in 2017, so we've been looking for 3.5 years, and a lot of different properties that were already rezoned just kind of slipped away from us. So we found this and knew it was going to be a perfect spot just because of where it was located. So our intentions are running a small landscape company. It's been around for 37 years, and ideally no more than about 15 employees. So if we outgrew that site, it would be something where we would have satellite locations. So operating hours are 8:30 to 4:30, and we would like to clear out no more than an acre of land to put a shop on, around an 80 by 100, 80 by 120 shop. The purpose for that is to keep everything indoors, just for theft, I hate my stuff sitting out in the rain. We want to keep it concealed. So everything we do, we try to do it with excellence, and that's what we do with turf care as well. As mentioned before, as far as lighting, the property to the south of us, we're aware that any kind of lighting would invade their privacy. We would be kept at a minimum, no parking lot lighting, just the lighting on the door shining straight down. But everything would be enclosed within that 1 acre of the fence, and ideally everything would be indoors, which is why I would like to build a little bit larger shop. So we would have one office in there, maybe a bathroom, and that's kind of our plans. The roadway right there is a really good spot to pull out. Actually, as you're going around the curve, it gets a little bit harder to see, but where we're at, you can see a very long distance in both directions. Close to the highway, and we service, actually, I can look about, 3 of our customers are on that map. So we're very known in the community there, and, we're just looking to move forward with what we've been hoping for the last few years.
That sounds nice. Any questions from Mr. Albright?
I do. You know, across the street is where they keep all those salvage vehicles.
Yes, sir.
Are you planning on doing anything with those folks as far as keeping salvage vehicles?
Absolutely not.
Okay, is that prohibited?
It would be under the,
Okay.
if approved, it would be.
I don't have a problem with it already.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. I don't think we have any more questions. If you'll sit down on the front row, just in case we need you again. Anybody wishing to speak in favor or in opposition? How are you doing tonight, sir?
My name is Mike Petaway, and I'm here for the next item, but I just wanted to say that I'm for this zoning change for Mr. Albright. Our homeowners association employs him, and we have one of the most beautiful neighborhoods in northern Davidson County. He's a man of character, and those are the kind of businessmen we need in our community.
Yes, sir.
He's up straight up with you. He's a very well-mannered young man, and his father should be proud of him, and he's a great person to deal with. Thank you.
Good. Thank you
And
very much.
I can second that as well.
All right. Anybody else wishing to speak in favor or in opposition? All right. Hearing none, I will close the public hearing. Staff's recommendation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To answer your question, Commissioner Shell, the conditions for this district, should it be approved, would be a building 100 by 80 with small bathroom and office. Use of the facility will include landscaping equipment, trucks, mowers, et cetera, along with office staff. All equipment will be stored inside, out of sight. Privacy fence around 1 acre, starting at the front edge of the building. Parking lot will be gravel. Lighting will be on the building only, no parking lot lighting. Landscaping will be fixed very nicely around the building, along with exceptional turf grass, which we would maintain, being the applicant. Hours of operation are 8:30 a.m. to 4:40 p.m. And this is a site plan that would also be adopted, showing the applicant proposes to keep most of the track wooded, heavily wooded, so nobody will see this other than potentially this power line right away, and that's you can tell the applicant's cognizant of that in his presentation. And we've asked him to get an NCDOT driveway permit to make sure that it's safe ingress, egress off the property. Again, this is a situation where this is not an ideal location to develop commercial property, but the nature of the rural commercial district is such that it caters to locally residential service-oriented businesses, which is exactly what this is. Mr. Albright takes care of residences, he takes care of lawns for people that can't take care of them themselves, and he's proposing this upgrade. With the conditions that he's proposed, staff is going to contend that this is a good application. Plus, we've got, kind of a unique area. We've got an automobile salvage yard. We've already got a tree service business. There's a high-power tension line running through his property here. There's another high-power tension line running just to the north of this. So there are some very non-residential things in this area. So staff would contend that this is a good location for the proposed use. We would like to cite the Davidson County Land Development Plan, policies 1115, 17, 18, 56, 59, and 74 in support. And we also think this request, due to the unprecedented residential growth that we've had over the past 4 or 5 years, these service-oriented businesses in these RC districts are needed in these areas.
Okay, sounds good. Y'all have heard staff recommendation. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second. Motion to?
Second. Approve.
Second.
To adopt the
And adopt the resolution.
resolution, okay.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Any opposed? That motion carries. Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
All right, moving on to 7E. Got a little ahead of myself. Rezoning request by PBD Winston-Salem LLC. in Arcadia Township containing 1.5 acres plus or minus from RA3 to HC. Mr. Crook?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We do have a request by BPD Winston-Salem LLC to rezone property located in Arcadia Township, tax map 3, lot 70, containing 1.85 acres more or less. Said property is located on the east side of North NC Highway 150, approximately 500 feet north of the Millers Creek Drive intersection. Rezoning is requested to change from that of RA3 Rural Agricultural District to that of HC Highway Commercial District. If you'll please divert your attention, the area in yellow is the highlighted area is the property in question. To get you acclimated, Hickory Tree Road, here's NC Highway 150, Arcadia Grill, the old Foltz Concrete Plant, Food Line Shopping Center. So it's in a pretty heavily commercialized area already. I'm gonna yield the floor back. This is a general district request, so any use that's allowed in HC, the board would need to consider for this approval tonight. And I'm gonna yield the floor. There's a Mr. Spencer Bennett here to represent the applicant.
Okay, I declare the public hearing open. Spencer, come on up. And, how are you this afternoon?
My name is Spencer Bennett. I work with Meridian Realty. I represent the applicant. If you look at the subject property, the north and the south are already zoned highway commercial. Across the street's Dollar General that's already zoned highway commercial. So the goal tonight is really just to conform with what's already there. And so that's all I have to say tonight.
Okay, any questions for Mr. Bennett? All right.
Thank you. What's they planning on putting there?
This is our first step right now, and then once we figure this out, we'll start having some meaningful conversations.
There's a lot of business right in there.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anybody wishing to speak in favor or in opposition? Come on up. The last one was pretty good. I don't know if this is gonna go that way or not, but.
My name is Mike Pettaway, and I'm here representing my community. I'm the HOA president of the board. Matter of fact, I was elected the same year that Mr. Mizell was running for county commissioner. And I actually got a lot of information from him before he ever got elected. And I want to say to your commissioners, the people that we contact, county manager, planning, whatever, I'm very impressed with them. You know, I know it's a strange world. We don't get to meet face to face anymore. We operate with emails and text. But every time I've had a question, somebody in that chain of command gets back to me. And what I'm here for is I want to talk about our beautiful green community. We're afraid we're going to lose it. In 2014, our last developer sold an easement to the apartments that are built on Hickory Tree, the villas at Hickory Tree, to run water over under whatever our system. Since 2023, we have paid $60,000 out of our pocket from erosion issues. I just paid $39,000 last Friday for some erosion right before you get to Millers Creek that you're going to put 2 pickup trucks in it. It was getting dangerous, and we've outlaid that kind of money. We understand it's private property. I've had the DEQ involved. I've had the Corps of Engineers involved. We just don't want, we're not opposed to any growth in Davidson County. I'd love to have a Tractor Supply sitting up by my door. But just, what scared us was about a month ago, I was walking through the north end of our pond, right below that 25 number. And I noticed they'd cut a big wide path of trees down that run right down to our property line. And didn't think too much of it. Until about a week later, we had a rainstorm, and our pond turned blood red. Looked like somebody had been shot standing out in the pond. And I tried to get the DEQ out, and they were too busy, but we don't know to this day what that was. I don't know if it's something came out of the disturbed soil. I have no idea. But then it turned brown for 3 days, then it turned back red again. And all we're asking is for some consideration. When they do build this, are they going to run water to where it's going to affect our neighborhood? We're not opposed to it. We don't want to get anybody upset. We're just here to try to be good neighbors. But I've got 92 homeowners, and most of them are over 75 years old. And sometimes they can get pretty, cantankerous, but I don't have an answer for them. So that's why we came here, and I don't have any negatives to say about Davidson County or anybody. I'm just glad that we're all still alive and walking.
So you 2 for 2 tonight, and I like that.
No,
You
you
2
know,
for 2.
I face some of the same kind of issues you face,
Right.
I'm the president of the board.
Yeah.
I get called to change a light bulb or to whatever. But if you want to get into public service, you got to emphasize the word service. Whether you're elected, or you're paid, or you're volunteered.
That's right.
This country needs people that will step up and do what's not expected of you, and don't expect anything in return. You know, if I was 20 years younger, I'd run for county commissioner.
Come on. We could use you up here, come on.
I've never met most of you except for Matt, but, I've lived here since 2008, and we built a town home at the Commons at Miller's Creek. I was involved in North Davidson Sports, I had a website. I know a lot of people, but I've kind of been secluded the last 3.5 years. I'm on my second 3-year term, and my wife says, "You don't have any brains, do you?" I said, "No." When you get unanimous consent, what are you supposed to say? I don't want to serve. But you guys, I understand there's a whole lot more to please than I have. And I hear some of the negative comments, that's human nature, but just do what's right for the community. You know, it's a tough job trying to build roads, and, I mean, the construction in my area of Davidson County into Forsyth is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And y'all better pay attention to the infrastructure, because it's gonna catch up to you, and then we're gonna, but I think you understand that, and I appreciate it.
We do.
I don't mind paying my tax bill whatsoever, I love it.
Thank you. And thank you for the compliments of our staff too. They work hard.
I work hard.
Great group.
Yep.
So anyway, that's all I gotta say. We're not for or against. My
Thank you, sir.
personal opinion, I'm for it, but as a representative of my community, we have no issue either way. Just keep us apprised of what's going on with the water situation.
Would you like
Anything.
to explain the water situation to him? Because
I was gonna jump in, and unfortunately, at this point, we don't know what's proposed for the property. We've all heard the rumors. I think you just mentioned what the rumor is. At this point, all I can speak is theory. When whatever's constructed on this property, they will have to go through DEQ to have proper erosion control and sedimentation measures put into place. And if silt starts leaving that property, they do have corrective measures to take, to take action against the developer. After the property receives its occupancy permit through the inspections department, this is in an area of stormwater. So they would have to maintain measures on site so that stormwater controls are in place, because you're right, nobody's gonna protect your pond except you guys. And until we have more details, I know that those 2 permitting processes would have to take place.
Do you know if that apartment complex had to have an erosion control?
I'm sure they did. Anytime you disturb more than a contiguous acre, you're supposed to do that.
You cited them in the post-construction, citation and made them change their retention pond.
Okay.
From a dry pond to a wet pond.
Okay.
And we think that slowed down some of the water flow.
Yes, sir.
We had some internal issues on our property we had to change, but I think what they've done is alleviated some of it. But we had a blowout of a sewer line in the middle of our property.
Sure. I received a few calls on that myself.
Well, are you,
Lee Crook.
I got some emails from you. Like I say, I don't know anybody's faces, but I know they get back to me, and I know they know what they're talking about.
And it could be where you was at, there was a design flaw in the initial plans. DEQ, they have a review process. I think they got 45 days to review the plans, so maybe there was something wrong. Sometimes it's gotta be adjusted in the field, so that's why they changed it from a dry pond to a wet pond to hopefully take,
What our intention was in January of 23, I think it was, there was a couple of real big heavy rains. So I'm here with my vice president and one of our directors, Bill Henderson and Brenda Cassam. And Bill and I went up there and we watched water come off Hickory Tree and come right down that street, went into what we thought was a storm drain, but it was just open out into the field. And if you go through that woods, there's a couple of ditches that are probably 4 to 5 foot deep that come right to our edge. So we want to be a good neighbor, but we don't want to get drowned either. We want to be able to help. You
folks are living in one of the fastest growing parts of the county. I I spent my whole life in this area. Mount Olivet Church Road, I was raised right there. I remember when this intersection wasn't anything more than a hardware store and an old gas station. So the denser these properties are developed, the more issues like that are gonna pop up. And like I've heard this over and over again, where an erosion control dam busts because of a heavy rain event. DEQ comes out, they have to give the developer time to fix it. And if it doesn't get fixed, then fines start accruing. So there's a process in place. It doesn't always work as fast as a lot of people want it to work, but it eventually gets done.
Is there any way that we can be some semi-involved in some of the discussion processes that are gonna take place once you know what's gonna happen up there? Because we can tell you exactly what's happened, we're not guessing, we know what's gonna happen if it's not controlled.
Sure. I mean, the best thing we can do is check in with our office periodically. If this property's rezoned tonight, and I'll be frank with you, staff's recommending that it be rezoned because this is a commercial node, it's growing rapidly in that direction, and, you know, with the 150 facing property, but you've got very real concern with this land disturbance here because water flows downhill. That doesn't change. And, those measures need to be in place, so.
Someone told one of our property managers that you can't do much about the natural flow of water. I understand that. But when you replace a water absorbing ground with a building in concrete and asphalt, you have then taken all that absorption away.
Yes.
Funneled it somewhere, and we happen to be downstream from the somewhere.
And that's impervious surface.
And that's what DEQ is supposed to do. We won't have any final say on that, DEQ does, so they'll have the final design and what.
Know them way too
Right,
much.
right. So, I get you, I know them too well too, so,
Put it this way, I'd rather deal with you than.
I got you.
Feel free to reach out.
Thank you very much.
But feel free to reach out to Lee, he'll help you.
Now we
Yep.
time to talk,
Right.
we just got concerned homeowners.
I
and
got
just
you.
want to,
You have a right to be, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
All right. Anybody else wishing to speak in favor or in opposition? All right, seeing none, stay.
I've kinda let the cat out of the bag. I'm gonna recommend approval of this based on the fact that our land development plan recognizes the 150 Hickory Tree Road intersection as a commercial node where we would support non-residential growth. It is contiguous to HC, to the north and to the, east and, south. This is the last RA3 vestige in this area. I think this is the old Foltz place maybe, and there's some HI across the street. I would cite policies 1112, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 52, 54, 55, 57, 73, and 74 of our adopted land development plan in support of the proposed application, and we would recommend, approval and ask you to adopt a statement of consistency and support.
All right, y'all have heard staff's recommendation. Do I have a motion to deny or approve with the resolution of statement of consistency?
I have one question for
All
Mr.
right.
Pruitt.
Yes, sir.
Out of curiosity, what is 25?
25, that's it's a property, that used to be the old Foltz house.
Is it
You mean-
zoned out?
It's zoned highway commercial, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. It wasn't listed.
Everything around this property to the
I
north,
thought so, but I
northeast
wasn't
and,
sure, yeah.
and south is highway commercial. We rezoned that property several years ago for an automated car wash that never came to fruition.
Okay.
Okay, so
Thank you, Lee.
we have staff's recommendations. Any other questions? All right, hearing none, do we have a motion to approve or deny?
Motion to approve.
Second.
And adopt a resolution, statement of consistency?
Yes,
And second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Good luck. Take care of this gentleman here. You see how nice he is, so. Did you say he's got your cell phone, or you gonna, okay, yes, sir. You get his cell phone number and,
Thank you very much.
thank you. Y'all have a good night. All right, we'll move on to 7F, rezoning request by Hills Family Properties LLC by Danny Hill in Lexington Township containing 0.55 acres plus or minus from HC to RA3. Mr. Crook.
Thank you, sir. We did have a request by Hills Family Property LLC to rezone properties located in Lexington Township, tax map 302B, lot 51 containing .55 acre more or less. Said property is located on the east side of Hinkle Road, approximately .15 miles south of the Craver Road intersection. Rezoning is requested to change from that of HC Highway Commercial District to that of RA3 Rural Agricultural District. Again, if the board would divert its attention, to get you acclimated, this is North Davidson High School right here, Davidson Water, all of their facility is here, Welcome Arcadia Road, and this is Hinkle Lane. This property was rezoned, I'm gonna say, not even a year ago. The gentleman who ran Nick's Burger wanted to do some parking back there. And this property, along with this lot 60, were both rezoned to HC for that purpose, to get you acclimated with it. Mr. Hill is here tonight, Danny Hill's here tonight. That plan is no longer in place. He would like to rezone the southern tract back because it already has a residential property on it, and I will yield the floor, Mr. Chairman. to open this
I'll
public hearing.
declare the public hearing open. Mr. Hill, if you'd like to come forward. Sounds pretty cut and dry to me, but
I hate to say mine's not quite as glamorous as everything we've been hearing so far. Pretty easy. I just wanted to change it back to, we have a living facility on the small lot on one end of it, and we're gonna keep, the upper part is highway commercial, but just the part where the living establishment, change that back to rural residential so that I can rent it to someone for a living establishment.
Right, all right. Any questions for this gentleman? All right, hearing none. Anybody wishing, if you wanna have a seat on the front row, be fine. We shouldn't take but a second. Anybody wishing to speak in favor or in opposition? All right, seeing none, I'm gonna close the public hearing. Staff's recommendation, please.
Thank you. Staff's gonna recommend approval of the application. We supported the rezoning to HC because this property was gonna be accessed from the east in Old Highway 52. Hinkle Lane has a varied amount of uses on it. There's some industrial, there's some commercial, but the character down here at the end of Hinkle Lane is very residential. Mr. Hill currently has a single-wide manufactured home on site with some stick-built additions to it. Excuse me. The property directly to the west here is zoned LI, but there are two single-family stick-built homes there, and I think they're being used in that capacity. So this is a transitional property where it could kind of go either way. Our land development plan does promote the old US Highway 52 corridor as an economic development corridor. And because the property is no longer going to be affiliated or tied to activity on Old 52, we feel like it would be better suited at the end of the road as a non-commercial property and a residential property. It is contiguous to the south here to RA3, so it would be contiguous. And staff would like to point to policy statements 6.1, 6.3, 6.5, 6.7, 6.10, 7.4, and 7.5 of the county's adopted land development plan, and point out that it's contiguous, which helps it comply with the Davidson County zoning ordinance, Article 710, reasons to rezone. We'd ask you to approve it and adopt a statement of consistency.
Okay, you've heard staff recommendations. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
This is to approve and adopt the resolution on statement of consistency.
Yeah, I can't get them to say whether they approve or deny. I don't know, it's just,
Just say all in numbers and get it covered.
So you got the vote?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you. Jason's ready for his seat back.
Yeah. Kept it warm, sir.
Thank you, Lee, and y'all do a wonderful job down there too, so thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, appreciate it. Y'all work hard. It's not a pretty tough job. All right, public hearing for, Blue Thunder. I guess you wanna lead that off, or?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. We are actually asking that this public hearing be continued, or moved to October 27th. The project is still currently working through, things with the state.
All right, so can I get a motion and a second to, to postpone this hearing to October the 27th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Motion? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Can I get a motion to go into closed session?
Move, Mr. Chairman.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
back in open session.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Mr. Attorney?
Yes, the board went into closed session. We, had discussion about the terms of acquisition of two different, pieces of real property, and staff were given instructions on what to do on those. And we had, an attorney-client, session, to discuss one attorney-client privilege issue, and that was it.
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry, I need to add one more thing. In the closed session, in our last meeting, the last morning meeting on the 4th, we had, the board did approve a release, and I'm just putting this in the record, just, to note that it's been concluded. Approved a release, for the driver of a vehicle that damaged a county-owned building. And this is in exchange for their insurance company paying for the damages. And so that release is being executed, and we will get the money for that. That was the damage that occurred at the courthouse.
Okay.
That's
All right.
it.
Sounds good. Thank you, Mr. Jones.
Motion adjourned, Mr. Chairman.
Motion to adjourn, second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?